Hello, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the space. I am feeling a lot of shame right now, and I've decided and I have a client that I'm supposed to be waiting for, and is usually right on time, and so since this client is not here, I'm thinking they're probably not going to come. Anyway, I woke up feeling kind of rested, feeling decent, and then sometime between being semi-conscious and going on my walk in the morning, I started feeling just really, really bad. I started looking around at my home and thinking, wow, did I choose to live here? Is this what I want? Can I do this for the rest of my life? The pressure to have to go to work and sit with people and hold space, even if I do not feel like I'm able to do that. I don't know. I start to feel suffocated. I start to feel stuck. I start to have grandiose, extreme ideas of escaping reality. Like, I start thinking, oh my goodness, I feel really ugly. I feel really bad. My self-critic starts coming in and really judging myself, like physical. Like, I think I looked at my face this morning and was just like, oh my god, you are wrinkly and decrepit. And so I started writing down my thoughts, and I'm not sure if I'm having a vulnerability hangover from the other day being told by my boss that I do not do enough and what is wrong with me. And it started manifesting in using marijuana. Context, my father passed away when I was 17 from alcohol disorder, basically. And I have this deep crippling fear with substance use that if I use it at all, I am going to die when I'm 50 from addiction. And this part of me that does this tries to protect me from that. And sometimes it's too much. I've realized that if I'm going to use marijuana, this is where my shame is sitting, and this is where I even feel anxiety in my throat as I'm trying to unpack and process this. If I'm going to use marijuana, it has to be okay. The amount I take has to be okay with all parts of me. I can't just fuck it and take it without thinking. I need to have a relationship with it that works, that is not too extreme and restrictive towards a binge purging type disorder, but okay. It has to be what I want. I can't be in misalignment with that. I'm here documenting my journey, even the ugly, and I'm going to do some expressive arts. See, bitch, I'm fucking working when I'm not even working. I'm gonna show you an expressive arts experiential that I'm gonna do on myself. And I'm sharing the knowledge because I don't want to hoard it, for you to do it too. In order to do it, you need any sort of coloring book, I guess. I'm using this Queer Affirmations coloring book, and the way that I like to start, maybe you can save this video at the end if it resonates, and I don't know, do what you need to do in order to figure out how to participate along. Get a coloring book and some coloring utensils. So I have these and these and then your coloring book. So, I like randomization, and I call in the fairies to support me. Just tapping into your body, so maybe smelling the book, or just grounding first, listening to the pages turn, and I want you to be tapping into an intuitive sense. And stop on that page, and when you look at the page, I don't want you to interpret it. I want you just to begin playing with it. No thinking, we're on the right side of the brain. Noticing, I sense, I smell book. I feel, that's how I feel. I'm trying to move through these emotions with the support of the expressive arts, because wanting to live does not sound fabulous right now. Okay. Client is not here, so I'm going to close this Zoom link and contain my experience so I'm not stressed out. Hey Google, set an alarm for 10:30.
Done. Your alarm's set for 10:30 a.m.
Closing the work laptop so that can be here. And I feel like playing some instrumental music, so start playing. When you choose colors, allow yourself to pick one accidentally. Like, when you reach over, choose one, maybe it's your favorite color. Just, there doesn't have to be so, you don't have to know. Try not to know what you're doing. Allow your body to decide if you can. Invitation to do it with me. I'm sitting here thinking, is this going to get copyright? Get a copyright strike? Maybe. I'll turn off the music. I invite you to play your own music. You know, I don't care if there's a copyright strike, because this is for me, and this is instrumental, so I think we're good. Okay, copyright strike, we're ignoring. I invite you to play some music or sit in silence. But the music, if you're going to play, no vocals, no words. You're not going there. I want you to loosely invite the thing that you are thinking about. Maybe the thing that has been bothering you, and it doesn't have to be so clear in your mind. It could be one word, it could be an image, it could be a certain part of your coloring book. And I want you to pick a color. that emotionally resonates with that. For example, I am coloring in this gloopy part of this cake with green, because this is what my shame feels like. It feels acidic. If I could, I would change this to a sea foam. Maybe I can. Allowing it to not make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Staying with what you're working on, continuing to just play. Allowing it not to be perfect. Invitation to notice how tightly you are gripping your utensil. If you have any aha moments, I would like you to speak it up. I just read what it said on here, and what's happening, the context of my image that I have is you have an indomitable spirit. Rest up and try again. Indomitable? That feels red. I feel like getting squished under capitalism by my boss yesterday. Feeling stuck. This feeling of being stuck. I have been being squished over and over and over in that relationship, but my spirit is indomitable. I'm going to look up how to say that word. Remember, language is magic. If you can speak it, it can exist. An indomitable spirit from AI Review refers to an unyielding and unconquerable nature, characterized by resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity. I'm going to now write on the back of this some of these words. What I'm doing now is called, this is the invitation, this is an intermodal transfer. This is something that you could do. At any point, you can pause this video and press play. These are invitations. If anything does not resonate with you, if you don't want to make that choice, do not choose it. These are all invitations as I do it with you and show you how I use expressive arts on myself. This is called an intermodal transfer. I am switching from one medium, being visual art, to words, like bibliotherapy. And that shift, we access different parts of our brains. Yes, neuroscience. And I'm just gonna write down some of these words that resonate with me. It doesn't have to be in a form yet, or at all. Unyielding. Unconquerable nature. Unconquerable. Yes. Characterized by resilience and perseverance Perseverance. In the face. For my face, I'm drawing an image. Unyielding. Unconquerable. Characterized by resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity. This horrible feeling that I have is because I feel shame. Because I'm told that there's something wrong with me. Because I don't get in line fast enough. Because I'm prioritizing myself. Because I don't send all my energy to places that don't have the goodest, let's say. I'm going to speak, it doesn't have to be English. This is emotional. It doesn't have to be, the semantics don't have the linguistics. The words don't have to match up. You're allowed to speak loosely. I'm speaking now in stream of consciousness. It feels good for me to do this face. I am creating a posture now. This is another intermodal transfer. I'm creating a posture to express the emotion that I feel like expressing, actually, and I feel it now transforming. Because instead of like, screw you, it's going like this. Hee hee. You can't get me down. Adversaries. I'm in a musical right now, and I think by the time I post this, it will be announced. And I just had the musical come into my mind. It is Hedwig. I'm playing Hedwig and Yitzhak. And if you don't know Hedwig and the Angry Inch, I'm not here to talk about it, but that song started coming through as I started embodying that posture. And it goes, adversaries, they try and get me down. You want me, baby, I dare ya. Try and tear me down. Try and tear me down. Try and tear me down. I dare you to try and tear me down. I dare you to try and tear me down. Now what I'm doing is I'm repeating it, feeling it, expressing it, and locking it in. At any point, you can go back to an image. You can go back to a previous part. This part 2, where I use words. Back to the beginning. I think, you know what? I am going to go back to this. Also, it is allowed to be a cloud. It doesn't have to be linear in its form. Allow it to be constantly unfolding, finding deeper, more nuanced truths as you explore. I still feel it in my body, so I'm going to continue. Using I notice, I sense, I see language. I see a tool. I see the spoon. And that feels relevant. What tools do I have? How about my magic wand? That will be my tool that I'm going to use to not be dominated. My tool feels purple. Purple, which I associate with wisdom. Noticing how I stay in the emotional space. These are invitations. My cake, my creation, is messy. I want to make it gross. Because remember, I'm bad. I'm the problem, right? Invitation to switch up the direction in which you are drawing for different parts of your image does circle motions, clockwise or counterclockwise, or back and forth. What resonates more with where you're drawing? Set and put meaning into your art process. That's what I'm asking for. It is a process. You know, I give her, my boss, Becky, I give her so much money. She's gotten so much money from me. For her to teach me something in which she did not do. I did not learn. She couldn't teach me, so she hired a practitioner, an expressive arts practitioner, because she could make more money. Because I do the expressive arts, I can bill insurance more money. And then she held it over my head, just like my mother did. Isn't that interesting how people repeat? How certain archetypes repeat in your life. You know, maybe this is part of what's difficult. Another song is coming into my head, and so I'm gonna sing it. Just to express some of the words. It's again from Hedwig. This is not me trying to advertise, it's just my life I'm living right now, as also an artist myself. Look what you've done, you gigolo. You know that I loved you, hun. And I didn't wanna know that you're cool. Seductive serenade, oh, was a tool of your trade. Oh shit, you gigolo, oh, oh. So I just realized while singing that this tool, this shame is not mine. I've been taking on the shame of Becky. This bitch is supposed to be teaching me. Do you know what I see when I look at? I notice that there's a mess everywhere. I think that's all the shame. I do want to keep this within an hour because we only have so much time. So I'm continuing to be in the deepening process. And when that timer goes off, I'll have a timer go off at 40, I believe, in 2 minutes. Stop. It is... Oh, you know what? That's not actual 40 minutes. We'll set another... Hey, Google, set an alarm for 9:45. I guess we'll end it...
Done. Your alarm set for 9:45 a.m.
I guess we will stop at 55 or something. I'm now looking at my image and starting to just observe it and ask myself, what is happening here? Where do I see my experience in this image? I feel shame about what I'm creating, and I look at what I've created, and I have shame around marijuana use. I think I use marijuana as a way to self-blame and drag myself down by being in relationship to somebody. It just feels so twisted to say, for my supervisor to say, you have an indomitable spirit. Rest up and try again. Yeah, I'm mind-fucked. Like, what is happening? Like, what is happening right now? You're telling me, with your power, that what was created is not good. We're in the kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, this cake looks like shit. Because I'm not making cakes for her anymore. I'm making videos like this. I'm stepping away. I'm stepping on my own. I'm consuming the message that... Stop. Yeah, so now I'm gonna find words to explain. This is me interpreting the art. So I'm no longer in the explore space. I'm entering into the interpretation space, I think. Try to share the frameworks. I'm going from identification some confrontation with the image. As I close up, if you have any questions during this, like, for me, as if you are the therapist, supporting me and listening to me and witnessing me, can you ask me questions? Some supportive, curious, maybe you have a hypothesis question. Can you ask it? Because that's kind of how the therapeutic container works. This is when the therapist comes in and helps and listens and helps unpack and crystallizes what's happening. Becky. We're in Becky's kitchen, by the way. Becky is looking at something that I created and saying, "You have an indomitable spirit. Rest up and try again." Becky looks at me like I am an ignoramus, trying to learn from her and grow and get my license and expand my mind and continue on this path that I have been on my entire life. I'm 30 years old. I've got my bachelor's. I got my master's. I did like 9 years of school. I did my internships that I wasn't paid for. I am in loads of debt. I come out of school, get jobs where they pay you absolutely nothing in a field that doesn't have a lot of money for way too much work, basically. And I'm expected to keep learning, to just keep learning like a doe little lamb. And I don't want to anymore. I'm sick of learning from people that I can't learn things from. I do not want to be learning from Becky. And Becky, being my clinical supervisor, was not a supportive environment for me to grow. Because every single time I ever bring in a client, even if it's about me growing in the moment with Becky, Becky doesn't see that. Becky is like outside the kitchen. Becky doesn't realize that learning also happens relationally between supervisee and supervisor. Like, it's very safe. Like, I say this with therapy too. When I'm in therapy with a client, I'm learning with the client. I acknowledge the power dynamic that I have and my biases that show up in the space. If you cannot own your biases, then they're going to affect the process and they're going to affect the relationship. You have to be human in the space in order for it to work. And that's how I show up to practice. And so I have a value conflict, and I'm sitting here stuck in Becky's kitchen with this stupid cake that I've been forced to make for insurance reasons and liability, because it's not for my clients or for my clinical development. It's for liability and risk of money loss. That's what my boss cares about, because that's what a boss cares about, because it's a business. So having a business owner and a clinical supervisor, I don't think works if you want to really develop therapists. So here I am, over here in my, by the way, cute pink apron, stuck in this kitchen with these ingredients that are not benefiting me, but are stale, making shitty fucking cakes, and then feeling shame about it. Feeling shame. Why do I feel so much shame about these cakes that I make? Because they're half-assed, and I like having my quality be good. I don't like my things being bad. And my spirit my deep self is being used to like charm me. Like, what is that? I believe that you deserve better. Like, I believe that you can do better. Like, what? Yes, I am unyielding, unconquerable, resilient, and perseverant. Perseverance? In the face of adversity. That's true. But you don't get to speak on my experience. That's what she keeps doing. Do not speak on my experience. I'm writing that down because I need to protect myself. Do not speak on my experience. When she says that, what is wrong with you? Or, there's something wrong. And place the blame on me. And then also from this kind, loving, therapeutic space holding space. It creates a relationship of abuse. Bad bitch, integration, and this is the next part. I'm going to integrate this. I'm going to put it into my body. And I'm not going to be kind. Like Midwestern sweet. For here, it's going to be clear, and that is kind. There is nothing wrong with me. There is something wrong between us. How does that sound to my ears? There is nothing wrong with me. There seems to be a problem between us, however. Yeah, and I see that image. This is what I continue to struggle with when it comes to people who abuse their power. And this is where I learn, and I hope maybe someone can learn from this too. I know I am. Shifting of blame. And I will not allow insecurities to come in here because I'm protecting myself, my self-esteem, my self-confidence. When someone is shifting blame onto me, and this is not about accountability in relationships because I do practice that. If you can't hold someone accountable in a relationship, stop holding yourself accountable with them. That feels like a truth for me. Write it down, bitch. If you can't hold someone accountable in a relationship, I'm just noticing what bled through and making art from there too. Meaning making. Because that's what we do in the expressive arts or art therapy. We turn our suffering into meaning and become fabulous. If you can't hold someone accountable in a relationship, don't hold yourself accountable with them. Better, don't allow them to blame you. Shift the blame to the relationship. And now I'm going to create a movement to do that. Warming up the hands. And I think I should end it soon because we're at 56. We don't have all day. If you can't hold someone accountable in a relationship, don't hold yourself accountable with them. Better. Don't allow them. So I'm speaking with my hands. If you can't hold someone if you can't hold someone accountable in a relationship, don't hold yourself accountable with them. Better, don't allow them to blame you. Shift the blame to the relationship. When I feel blame on me, I'm just gonna, like, what does blame feel like when it's put on me? It feels like shame. It's internalized as shame. So my shame, I was like, let me just digest that. That's what I said. Let me just digest that. You know what I should say? Let me just take that blame off of me for a second and drop it right between us. Because that was misplaced. So next time I feel like I'm being blamed, which when I was feeling blamed, I had to catch myself. I was like, what is happening here? What is happening here? So, like, this is my movement. We're going to take your blame, and it's like purple, because it's an abuse of this tool, Becky's tool. Maybe I pick up my wand. Maybe I take my own tool, and I just, like, say, I do not accept that blame that was just put onto me. And I think, because I think it was misplaced. And you know where I place it? Right here on the relationship. So what is happening between us? Am I able to hold you accountable? I don't feel like I am able to hold you accountable. How do you hold your boss accountable? You put it in writing. Did you know that I told her after she blamed me to put it in writing? I've asked her to do this multiple times. She won't put it in writing because she doesn't want to be held accountable to her fluctuation of expectations. That is what I've been dealing with. And so, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write an email. And this is my question. Should I, blame her? Should I give her? Should I shame her how she shamed me? And or, I think I absolutely should. Why am I trying to be moral in relationships where I can't hold accountability? I have a heart and I have empathy. I believe I'm going to have to send this email telling her that she needs to put it in writing, and I've asked her before. And I can say, what is the communication issue? I can put it on the relationship. What is the communication issue? And if she feels shame from that, that is her emotion, but I will not shame her. I will shift the blame to the relationship. I am not going to share my disappointment and make up all these bullshit things and join her frequency. Her emotional energy, I'm not joining it. This. And now I'm going to speak to you as I speak to myself. Highest self speaking. You need to protect yourself from certain relationships, systems, structures in this world. Not every system, macro, meso, micro, has the same desire for you, goodwill for you. A lot of these systems are meant to exploit you, to reduce you down into an object, to produce. Capitalism, everyone. Stop going to your habits or vices or vehicles that hold the space for your shame. Challenge relationships that don't hold accountability for themselves on the other end of the relationship and tend to blame you for your part. I need to go bake a cake or something. Okay, closing. We are now going to be leaving the space, so I'm now going to orient myself towards something else. I'm going to be leaving. Maybe I'm going to eat something, eat some food, nourish my body. I might have some eggs. And I'm going to remember my movement and my image. I'm going to redirect the blame to the relationship. And I have a tool to do that. Not taking that spell. Let me read a redirect spell. Ooh, that's what I'm creating. I'm creating a redirect spell, and I've played Harry Potter. Trans people exist and are valid. Hello. Where I've literally created a spell for this. This is a defense spell. It's called Epilarmage. I made it when I was younger. Epilarmage. Epilarmage. And I now am going to Epilarmage next time that is happening. Let me just create a spell. I literally have it right there. Protection spell. No, it's not Epilarmage. It's Scutum. Sorry. Scutum. Protection. Scutum. And then I'll Epilarmage it where it needs to be. Scutum. Epilarmage. Thank you for today. Thank you for being here for some expressive arts, seeing it, witnessing it. I am going to continue to feel these emotions, and I'm going to move through them because I don't want to stay with them, and they hurt. I'm going to remember my takeaways, my Scutum and Epilarmage, any of my images, the cake, anything. And when I think about this experience, I'm going to remember that instead of getting stuck in the weeds of what it felt like or shaming myself with marijuana or whatever. I'm going to know that I'm trying my best and keep going forward and present. If you found this helpful at all, engage with it. Invitation to engage with it. And I hope you take care of yourself. I will see you next time.